Hello, Atekerikere Muriakolia, as we the Iteso actually say, it's a hyped word and I'm excited to be in Soroti. Right behind you is our rock, a symbol or rather an icon. Anytime you visit Soroti, you'll actually see it. As soon as you reach television, the rock is actually there for you to actually witness. So, life in Soroti is a topic here today. As I told you guys before, Soroti city happens to be a cheap city simply because of a few reasons that you actually have to get from me. One, the accommodation. Two, the transport. Three, the food. Four, the nightlife. Five, the ladies are cheap. I'm excited to tell you guys this. So let me talk about the transport first. What the border guys, the motorcycles, then of course the bicycles. Bicycles from 500 shillings, town service depending with the distance. Motorcycles 1,000 shillings depending of course with the distance. We don't have taxis here like the way Kampala is. Our city is not so big, so even just walking around is actually also easy and of course cheap for someone who cannot afford a coin to actually transport him or herself around the city. Talk about the food. We have lots of food. I just had myself some nice food. I had some matoke and of course some pasted meat, and it only took me about 5,000 shillings. The same food I get from Kampala, 10,000 shillings, the same food I am enjoying here at about 5,000 shillings. This actually tells you and of course shows you that Soroti city is actually so cheap. So what are you waiting for? Come and visit Soroti and of course enjoy. The life here. Let me talk about the accommodation in case you're planning to rent a room for yourself, a residential or rather just for having some small fun. Definitely Soroti city is actually a best place for you. From 50,000 shillings to maybe 700 shillings depending with the location. Talk about the senior quarters, maroon quarters and any other place described as the quarters. That's of course where people who have the money stay in. Then of course the hustlers like some of us who want cheap accommodation, we go of course to the slums. That's where we base in. The accommodation there is between no, it actually ranges from 50,000 shillings to maybe 500. Self-contained, not self-contained, but accommodation is actually so lit. Unlike the bosses who want apartments who can pay maybe 600, 700 per month. Getting jobs in Soroti city is not actually so hard, but the advantage is that you get and you are able to sustain yourself, pay your bills. You're not actually a beggar compared to Kampala, whereby jobs are actually there. These labor jobs are there, but the challenge is lifestyle in Kampala is a bit hard. Most people actually find it challenging, especially when it comes to paying the accommodation of the place where one is actually staying in. So at the moment, I would actually advise everyone to come and take a look and of course stay around Soroti. We have beautiful places. Check out our roads. We have the best roads, best market, I think the whole country, Soroti City has been described as a place with, of course, the best market. The design is actually so great. It has been approved by several people who have visited this place. So what are you still waiting for? Is it money for you to visit Soroti? Is it a bell to be rung for you to come and visit Soroti? Is it for someone to still convince you to that come and visit the city? No, no, no. Guys, definitely you have to come and visit Soroti. Behind me, you can see the rock. The number of people who have actually come to flock into the city. We just have a few days to Christmas, and the city is already getting full. Like coming to buy food stuff. We actually feed Kampala, guys. We feed Mbale, guys. We feed all cities with all our organic food because we are simply next to areas that actually produce best organic food. Amuria, Kapelebio, Katakwi, Serore, Ngora, and name them. A number of these we just actually have farmers who actually produce the best foods that we transport as far as Busia. That's of course a border between Uganda and Kenya. So guys, consider coming to Soroti. It's actually one of the cheapest areas around. Not forgetting those who want to actually have lodges, guest houses, they are so cheap. From 30,000 shillings, 30,000 shillings and above, you get yourself an accommodation self-contained compared to Kampala whereby you pay 50,000 shillings. Guys, what's not happening here? Do you need me to vibe it more again? Nevertheless, my name is Nathan Yagu. We left home to change home.
My name is Emma, coming from Soroti City. Actually, comparing life in other cities like Kampala and Soroti, I've come to realize like the standard of living in Soroti as compared to Kampala. Soroti is kind of cheap. Like, as in, let me say, like businesses, like, you know, it's easy to set up a business in Soroti here. The reason is the ready markets, like, there are so many friends who can support you. And besides that, buy accommodation also, like houses for rent, it's really cheap compared to other cities. So it's, you find out like life becomes so easy. Then you're going to rent somewhere, you're assuming you're earning a salary of 500,000, you're paying rent of 300,000. So it's really very bad inside. So in other words, life in Soroti is just so cheap. As in rent, it's cheap. Like food, you can access it at a cheaper price. So it makes life so easy, so especially the individuals around Soroti City. So like in some towns, let me say, life is so hard really. Let me say Kampala, the standard of living in Kampala is very expensive because everything is expensive, food is expensive, like even setting up a business is also very expensive in Kampala. So So you really see like life is so hard in that side with some cities like that as compared to Soroti. So thank you so much.
Alright, thank you so much for watching, of course, at SO TV, and of course, any media platform that you're watching this video from. Please consider subscribing, consider liking, consider sharing the video, so that this video actually goes viral. Of course, this segment, I was actually trying to take you guys through the life that is actually in Soroti City compared to different cities that we have in Uganda, especially Kampala being the major capital city. My name is Nathan Yagu. We left home to change home, and of course next to me is one gentleman, a blogger, and of course I would like to know, he has also been in Soroti for some time, but I would like to know how he has actually seen and of course experienced the life in Soroti City.
Yeah, my name is Erasmus. As you said, I've been here for about like a year, but you know, I came here on business purpose. Yes. But one thing I like about the place is the people of the environment. The food is cheap, transportation is cheap, accommodation is cheap, and yeah, I mean those are like things that stand out from this city.
And of course, if you compare it with a few cities, take for example, the nearest city that we have is Mbale. Then I'll look at Jinja. I know you've at least ever been in those two cities. What do you have to say about those two cities, and if you compare them with Soroti City?
Well, one thing I know about the cities is that the people surrounding the cities are not much into agriculture. Yes. Or the environments around the city is not for agriculture. So, but if you come to Soroti, we have Serere, we have Katakwi, we have Amuria, we have Bukedia, we have, you know, the leader on the other side. So all those are areas where food comes from. Let's talk about potatoes, oranges, cassava, nuts and beans, and other cities actually rely on areas this side for their food. Yeah.
So that actually means that most of these cities actually rely again in Soroti City for actually agric produce. We produce the best foods because I've always moving around. I saw people actually vending nuts. Then of course you realize some of these things don't get from Kampala, but you find vehicles. Looking at the Christmas season right now coming up in a few days. People actually buying stock and of course taking to those other cities to actually sell from there. So what advice would you wish to give to someone who is actually planning or hoping to visit or maybe come to stay in Soroti or rather do business?
So one thing I would recommend is that Soroti is a place that welcomes anybody from anywhere. It's not a place that people have issues with, you know, tribalism and nepotism and stuff like that. But one thing I can recommend, come to visit. When you come to Soroti for the first time, I promise you won't come for the second time, because it's a place where you find, like as I said, simplicity. As I said, like people are nice. Everything is simple, pretty much. It's not like a place where there's too much chaos, like too much crime and things like that. So if you come to visit for the first time, I guarantee you'll come for the next time. And when you come for the next time, you want to stay. So I promise you, if you come here, the number thing that you can do is like open a business, you know what I'm saying? Because Soroti is like a very fresh city. Everything is developing up. You can have like a restaurant, and matter of fact, a restaurant, you can have a shop, you can have a school, you can have a supermarket, you can have even a border business. People that are doing most of the business here they're not from here. If you go to the main market. Yeah, from Bugisu, from Kampala, areas which are not very near here.
Okay, so actually you is watching, and of course the information that you've already got from this short conversation should actually be able to shape up your mind, make you start having that perception of actually coming to invest in Soroti, visit Soroti, and of course get to explore more, because lots of things are actually changing. Mr. Rasmus, thank you so much for that clue that you've just given.
Thank you for your time. I like the word you said. We left home to change home.
Oh my God. Guys, this is actually fun. Guys, my name is Nathan Yagu. We left home to change home.